I just don't know if it would survive a wash.
Hi, how are you today? I hope you're doing well. I know I am because it is officially done. I didn't think we were going to get here. I didn't think this was ever going to happen for me, but it's done. Turns out my final draft wasn't actually my final draft. I still had a little bit of gapping, kind of almost actually exactly like how this shirt is, if you're looking at it. See how there's like this weird like gap here? That's basically what was happening on my pattern. And so I kind of learned how to fix that. So this would technically be a dart, right? So you would dart this, kind of pinch out the extra fabric, and that would be like a bust line dart. But obviously in the block, I don't want a bust line dart, right? So what I did is moved it into the shoulder dart. But anyway, yes, that is done. This is officially done. I honestly, realistically, between you and me, I should make one more mock-up of this specific pattern, but I don't want to. I think it's good enough. Here was my original pattern. If you look at it, it's a little messed up. I understand like what she was going for. She said that like you should mark the changes in colored pencils so that way you can kind of like track your progress. In theory, probably a great idea, but for me, I was dumb and I used regular colored pencil, which doesn't erase great. Anytime I would try to trace the pattern onto the trace paper to like have a block, you know, because you're not supposed to write on your actual schematic, blueprint, pattern. You're not supposed to actually like do anything to this. Like this is basically like set in stone. This is it. You work off of this, right? But if you're trying to manipulate something or like make a pattern or whatever, you do it on trace paper. Yeah, I learned that the hard way. Everything's fine. I had to retrace everything. We're good now. Moving on. Now what we're going to do is finally learn how to use this block pattern. Because I kind of ran into the issue where I was like, okay, now what? I made the thing. How do I use it? I don't know. So I did what anybody did. I put it in YouTube and tried to see what I could do. Some of the stuff was kind of easy to follow and some wasn't. But I was more interested in, I think, in learning how to fix basically patterns I already have to fit me into my measurements, right? And I couldn't really find anything that worked out for that. So if you have any recommendations, please let me know because I would love to know. But until then, let me show you something amazing that I did get. I got this book for Christmas. This felt like a treasure trove. It's so cool. It even has like lingerie, it has dresses, it has shirts, it has all kinds of things in here. It walks you through how to do like this bodice block that we're doing here. Very complicated. Very complicated. I was very confused, so I'm super glad I found this one first because I think this would have made me like give up forever. When I was going through some of the options, like some of the stuff that you can do, I think there's all kinds of stuff in here, girl. Oh. When I was going through this book, I ran into this one specific pattern that actually shows like a very similar style to those one pajamas that I made that one time. And I kept running into this issue where my apex was just like so much lower than what theirs was. But I don't know realistically if like the fix for that would be to just have longer straps or if it was the problem with the cup in general, because maybe I'm just too voluptuous for the cup pattern. I did learn too that sewing cups, very different than what regular cups are. So in a sewing pattern, I am a size B. Never in my days did I ever think that I would be considered a B cup in anything. I haven't been a B cup since middle school, you know? I think this pattern, it shows exactly how to fit it on the bodice block, how you would draft that. So I think I could figure out how to fix that pattern to fit my measurements a little bit better. So I thought this would be a good thing to test. But yeah, so anyway, let's get started with this. I think our first step is going to be, as always, tracing our bodice block. I feel like a flight attendant. like one of those like people who land a plane. Let's get tracing. I got my little wheel. I got my carbon paper, which actually I think I need like 4 because once I put this down, I don't want to pick it back up because as I've learned the hard way, again, kind of like you need to set it in, don't touch it ever again. Otherwise, everything will explode. I'm going to bring you a little closer so you can see what I'm doing and we'll go from there. We're just going to eyeball it, which never ends well. Kind of hard to be accurate with this too. Like, how do you make sure you color within the lines, you know? Or like, what if you go a little off track? Because I'm going pretty slow here, but I feel like I'm still kind of missing these lines, so it's not like exactly perfect. My gosh, like if a cop pulled me over right now, they would wonder if I was drunk with how much swerving is going on in these lines. Okay, let's see how we did. Yeah, so there we go. That's the first one. I swear it takes me like 6 times longer. Like I know I use this tool to make these rounded curves, but it never fits. So I don't ever know how I did it. But new problem unlocked. I started to set the pattern out and everything last night, and then I realized I don't know how far the boobie point to come up, like the top of the garment, as well as like the shoulder strap. Like I don't know where that starts. I feel like for a pattern coming down, you know, I think like maybe somewhere around here I would like I think that could be a good strap, I guess. Ideally it would come up here, right? So like I feel like it would kind of meet roughly there. And then for the side, be like down here roughly, and then I'm gonna kind of just like dot it, you know? Okay, so I don't know if you can even see that. I did a bunch of dots. I don't know if this is correct, but I think it would help me visually to see it this way, to just get an idea of where these lines even go, because like I said, I have no idea what I'm doing. I think this would give me a better idea of where things are sitting. Now that we've got that kind of marked out a little bit, I think let's try to figure this out. Based on the shape and what I see, and I'm also using the book as a guide. And then like 5 centimeters. Okie dokie. I think I'm gonna make an X on that so I know that's not the line we're interested in. This feels crazy though, I'm not gonna lie. Like I kind of want to use my second mark and use that. So I think I'm gonna renege a little bit and do this line. I think that's a good starting point. I did a 1/2 inch seam allowance. That's measured up. Lovely. Same with that. Okay. Moment of truth. Let's go sew this up. I put this one on the little lightning bolt stitch, and then we'll do 1/2 inch. And the one thing I can't figure out either, like, do I have to backstitch for this one? Because whenever I try it, like, kind of spazzes out. Okay, it's not the straightest line I've ever seen. Good morning, it's the next day. I wanted to wait because I sewed up the edges and I need a little shot of courage. Tried it on, it didn't fit. But this time, not because of the booby cups, but because I was too skinny. The edges were way too big, I think by almost like 2 inches. Google basically told me, hey, big dumb bitch, the reason why that happened is because you put too much ease into your pattern. And I said, ease? I didn't put any ease in there, actually. I literally just did it straight from my body measurements, like on my pattern. What are you talking about? And that has absolutely no ease in it. I specifically made it that way so it wouldn't. So apparently with knit fabric, you know, like between that weeks like 1 and 3 that I said I was going to skip, where it was talking about woven versus knit. Yeah. The reason why is what you put as your seam allowance matters. And I did 1/2 inch on each side. So like if you do 1/2 inch, that's an inch on this side, 1/2 inch, that's another inch on this side. Guess what that adds up to? 2 inches. What I did is, I don't know if you can see this, but this is my original stitch line. I used that number 3 stitch. What is it? Like the little baby stitch one. That one was kind of a pain in the ass, and it took like 45 million years to do. So I switched it up and I used the second one. Please ignore this. I got a little off the track. I kind of like the way that the second stitch looks anyway, this one. I went basically an entire inch from the edge in. The boobies are a little weird, I will admit. The boobies kind of, I think, still too loose, you know what I mean? But maybe if I pin this, actually, hang on. I literally can't see you because I don't have my glasses, so pardon me if it looks like I'm like glaring at you. It's really because I can't see you, you're too far away. But I do feel like it's still too loose in the back. Like, see how this is just so floppy? So I think I need to take it in actually even more. And I did want a relaxed fit, so like the front isn't like crazy tight, but I still think I have to come in another inch. So that's kind of where it's at right now. I'm gonna sew these up and we'll retry it on and reconvene and see how we go about it. Okie dokie. I think that fits way better. I had to take it in so much, it's not even funny. And even still, it's a little bit loose, but enough to where it's staying up. So I think we're good. I'm going to transfer this over to the pattern. I'm gonna figure out how to do the binding, the straps. So let's see what we can do. Okie dokie. I did a little research on how to do binding on knit. And it seems like a lot of people were recommending that we do like the same knit fabric, but I don't want to. What I'm gonna try instead is the satin bias thing. I ran into a couple of advice things that I guess if you do use satin bias, a common situation is it like kind of stretches out the fabric a little bit and like makes the top kind of a little wonky. And I saw that a lot of ways to get around this is by using like an infusible like fabric or like an infusible tape or whatever. And we have that if you see up in this little corner right here, this like white stuff, my mom told me that this is stay tape because of course I asked her. I was like, hey mom, you got the goods? It looks like there's like all types of different like sizes too. This one's like really little. So I think we would want this one. This one's like the second smallest one. Look at that, just a skinny legend. I have two different types. I have this kind of like more shiny, satiny kind, and then I have this like cotton-esque kind. Personally, I kind of like the way that this one looks a little bit better. From what I saw, you iron this open, sew it on there first, and then you like flip it over. I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch like I'm so scared, I'm stuttering. I'm gonna have to watch a couple tutorials maybe on how to put the bias binding on for a beginner. You know what? I can do it. I can do it. I can do anything I set my mind to. So let's see if we can get this. And they say that you have to stitch in that first crease. And I'm just gonna go extremely slow. So we sewed this part down, right? So I think now what we're doing is folding this up and then over and then down. So it should look like that by the end. I was realizing too, this has to be this technically has to be sewn too, because this is like the straps, right? So I'm gonna have to start way down here and then try to aim to get up here. I really hope this isn't like getting stretched out, because ever since I read that, now I'm like so paranoid. I think that looks nice. Let's see if this still fits or if it's outstretched or got overstretched or whatever. I really hope not. I'll be so sad. If we were experimenting, I should have did half with the tape and half without, just to see what the difference was. Okay. Can you see? It definitely didn't stretch out. That looks so cute. Wait. Okay. This would almost have to be like a halter top, because I wanted it to kind of go like in like this. But now that I'm looking at it, it's just kind of crazy, right? Because like I have it kind of in like this, but I think this would slip off my shoulders a lot, which I cannot stand. Okay, I think this is better. It would maybe like maybe 1.5 centimeters would be nice, but overall I think it's okay. I do wish that this came in, but I think that's just a design thing, you know? Like, I don't think that's necessarily like a bad thing. It's just I would prefer if this was like a little bit more close to the body, but I don't know how to achieve that unless this like cups around more and then the centerpiece came up. I don't know. But I think overall, so I think I almost made a top, you guys. And we're done. Ta-da! I have officially made a shirt. I got a couple of critiques, of course, because it's not perfect. Some of the things I don't like, I feel like this part, I kind of wish it came up a little bit, because like the entire time all you can see is like this little dangly part from my bra. I don't know how I feel about this part being kind of basically just like cut and there we go. It's definitely more of like a pajama top, which is fine. Totally cool. It's too low cut. I would never wear it anyway, like outside of the house, I think. But that's my fault. It's cute and it fits. I just don't know if it would survive a wash. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. I can't believe I made a fucking top.